Hello everyone, my name is Yano. I'm the VP of Product at Catalon. Today, I'm very excited to share with you guys the topic, a universal approach for building a successful automation testing framework. So here is the agenda for my presentation today. Firstly, I will share the importance of an automation testing framework. Secondly, we share you guys an approach to build a framework based on any open source tool. Next, we provide some of the managerial suggestions when building or deploy automation testing framework. Next, our case study with Catalon Studio. And finally, we share some of the beauty that we recognize when building tool based on open source solution. Firstly, let's take a look at automation testing lifecycle. In the beginning, we need to do a need analysis to make sure that automation testing is what we need. Then we do a return on investment analysis to make sure that we have more benefit than the cost we need to pay. Next, we do a tool analysis to make sure that we have the correct tool to deal with all the needs that we have when doing automation testing. After passing the POC, we go to the solution design step. So this is the high level task. After that, we go to more detailed tasks such as business knowledge gathering, test scripting, test execution, test result analysis, and maintenance. So let's take a look at the tool analysis step. So this is the point that we start building our automation testing framework. So if you adapt a commercial tool, it might provide the whole framework for you already, but it will be the lack of customization in what we need to bear with. But if you decide to leverage open source tool, we have everything we need to customize the solution to really fit on our need. But then we really hope that we make it right, because the automation framework will affect the effectiveness, efficiencies of all the later steps. So that test scripting, execution, result analysis, or especially maintenance. If we do something wrong in the automation framework, all the activity of the team will be affected, and especially the maintenance step that I said already, because the effort for maintenance will become bigger and bigger over time. The vision of the framework also determines how long we can carry on the solution with our project and affect heavily to the final return on investment of the solution. So if you only have like 20 or 50 test cases, actually it doesn't matter much. But when you have 100 or 1,000 of tests, you will see how the automation framework play their role at that time. So if you don't have a good automation framework in the beginning, you might end up with explosive maintenance efforts, will eventually stop doing automation testing because it no longer meet your need when you're to meet your delivery need, or you need to do it all over again with a new framework. So given that importance of the framework, we will introduce to you guys an approach that we have after 10 years experience in this domain. And based on that approach, we build the framework. And the beautiful thing is that you can work on it based on any open source tool. The way that we have the approach is to build the framework layer by layer. Firstly, we had a community layer. Then we have a layer so-called community customizer. And then test library layer, test controller, and finally test script. For community layer, this is the time that you need to pick the strong open source community that you can rely on later. So it can be the community of programming language such as Java, .NET, Python, or JavaScript, or the community of the core execution engine like Selenium, Appium, and Puppeteer. Next, in the community customizer, it is time for you to build the layer on top of the community like a wrapper. This purpose is to hide on the complexity of the community layer and provide the flexibility to adapt when the community layer changes. This is also the layer that you need to build on the core, the basic activity of automation testing, so that you build web handler to handle all the control of the browser. You have common keyword to deal with all the interaction with the browser. You have error handler to make sure that you can manage exception or error. You have execution and report engine to control the execution mechanism and retrieve the execution result. Next, in the test library layer, you need to build the utility. This is for support on the testing activity throughout your project. Then you need to build a common function to be reused across project, and also provide some crucial capability should the test data or modularization depend on your need of your project. So this layer, the purpose of this layer to enhance the productivity of the whole testing project, and also provide core functions based on the need. Next is the test controller layer. This is the layer that you have the control of the testing flow, so that you have set up tear down capability. You will have to control the environment, the execution environment, such as development, staging, or production. And then you build the way to control the product versioning in case that you need to test your project with multiple versions at a time, and also the configuration to run your test as well. For the test script layer, this is the layer that the automation tester will use to do scripting. So one crucial point here, you need to make your script really abstract from the technical details and be more business friendly. So with such way, your test script will be very easy to consume by any people, even without programming skill, and also assure that your script will be very easy to maintain as it don't touch any technical aspect. So building with this approach to build your automation framework from layer to layer, you can increase your chance to have a good automation framework, can help you sustain for years, and can help you handle thousands of tasking. So this is some suggestion from the managerial standpoint of us when building and deploying the framework. Firstly, this is the key role in an automation testing project that we suggest you should have: the automation architectures, the automation prime, then automation tester. So the automation prime can be based on the feature sets or based on the automation testing regression or new tests you have to split them into different groups. So when you deploy or build the automation testing framework, the automation architect should be the guy who picked the community, will be the guy who work on the community customizer, and also the utility you have for your automation project. So this is the core part of the automation. Next, you have the automation prime to take care of the common functions in your project, to take care of control the testing flow, also take care of the environment such as staging, production, or development, and also control the product versioning. Lastly, you have the automation tester. So this is the guy who work on the script and a little bit on the test controller. So with such distribution approach, we believe that firstly we can utilize the skill set of people at its max, Secondly, when we have role separate on the things that they need to work on, we make sure that people with enough skill set to touch on the core of the automation platform. So the automation tester work on the script only. If they need to update something in the utility or in the flow, they need to work with the prime or with the architect. This is to make sure your project will be at the highest level of maintainability. Then we want to show with you guys our case study with Catalon Studio. But firstly, let me quickly introduce Catalon Studio and Catalon Studio as a whole. So at Catalon, we not only have Catalon Studio at the test scripting tool, we also have other tools that have covered different aspects in the continuous testing platform. So we also have Catalon Recorder and Catalon, also script generator for people with different testing programming skill or testing approach flavor. We also have Catalon Test Up, which is a sensor plate to control on the continuous testing activity. Also a plate to show you the report, the insight for the quality of your product and help you easier to make your decision. With Catalon, we aim to cover a full set of end environment, not only for web testing, we also have like mobile testing, API testing, desktop testing, and we also working on other end environment that we will introduce to you in the next month. In Catalon, what makes me feel very happy because we also provide the platform for Linux. The reason is for many people, they familiar with Linux when they need to work on other tool but can only install on Windows or Mac. They need to switch the environment. So with such way, we believe that we can help companies to utilize their resource and their best and without changing any behavior or anything that they familiar with. With Catalon, we provide the way to test on the latest version of Android, iOS, and on the popular browser. Last but not least, our solution available on cloud provider such as Docker, Azure DevOps, or Amazon Web Service. So this is the foundation for Catalon to bring automation testing to cloud, which is very important at this time. Because right now, not many people can go to work at normal. They need to work at home or some other places. With Catalon and automation testing on cloud, you can access to your project. You can work on your project anywhere, anytime. So this is the Catalon Studio under the framework view. For the community, in Catalon, we pick Java Groovy as the programming language. We have Selenium, Appium, WinAppDriver as the core execution engine. So with such programming language and execution engine, we have supported from many people because the community we based on is one of the biggest community. So we have many people who join into a forum and have people dealing with a lot of problem. Even those we don't have, we not can be available anytime. So for community customizer, with Catalon, we build a Catalon Studio framework with cover and wrap all the aspect behind. We also have an IDE. So actually, this customizer is for people who are not familiar with programming or not familiar with automation testing. So we aim to have on people, no matter their skill set is, and we aim to transfer them from manual to automation testing as well. And with Catalon customizer, we have a rich set of built-in keyword. So people can utilize our keyword to build their script, and they don't need to touch on the below level to build any more things to work with Studio. But then we open for that capability. In the test library, We have a utility like spy-in, recording, or debug. This is help people to generate tests very fast, and also help people without programming skill can create test script. So we have the capability to connect with test data to provide data testing driven BDD, pay object model, and other approach. We have cell healing features which help people to automatically correct the object locator upon fail. So such features help people to improve their productivity a lot. In the test controller in Catalon Studio, we have profile to help people to manage their environment. We have testing flow with setup and teardown already for them to control the testing flow. We have the execution configuration with parallel executions with set up that tests to run with different end environment. We have the capability to integrate with Git, which means that it provide the way for people to manage to test the product with different versions. For the test script, we provide a dual script interface. So we have with dual script interface, firstly we have the manual view. In the manual view, we display tests in a business-friendly way. So people can read the test and then understand the business behind without knowing the script. We also provide the script view for people familiar with scripting, and the two view is interchangeable. So we're the only product that can do that job, because we believe that all people should be able to do automation testing, and we also want to transform the manual tester to automation testing with the scripting capability as well. So with the product that we have based on the open source tool that I've just shared with you, this is the beauty that we know when work on our product. So you know already, when you adapt an open source tool with many people use, you will be easily supported by the community. It will be very easy to have people that work for you to develop your solution. And this is the result that we have from Catalon Studio that we build based on open source tool. So after like 3 years in the market, we have been adopted by more than 65,000 companies with roughly more than 500,000 people in 160 countries. The number of tests that people have built has almost 3 million test cases, and they run the test for almost like 90 million test runs. So let's say that our top client or user, they can have thousands of tests in Catalon Studio, and they can still manage that, and they can carry along with their project for 4 or 5 years. We have good ratings on Gartner, Captura, G2 Crowd, and UTest. We also reflect how the community supported us until now. Okay, so I have go through our approach in building the automation testing framework beyond open source tool. So we hope that it can give you some idea to start with your automation framework. And moreover, we provide Katalon at a product that we have based on the approach. And I think you can take a look at that and gain more idea about how to build the framework. And also, you can totally leverage Catalon Studio, and again, at a free open source tool to develop your work. So we hope that you find this presentation helpful, and I'm very happy to have questions from you. Thank you.